I posted something on Facebook the other day. I said, what's your sign? Every once in a while, when I'm not feeling good or I'm just like, whatever, I look outside and just at the right moment, there goes a bald eagle. And that's my sign, you know? And it's like, it's my sign that everything's good, man. Everything's good.
People need more help now than ever. And this is why you and I are doing more activity and we're putting more hours in, because we feel responsible, you know, to do something.
And right now, I mean, I even, get mad a little bit, with my team, because I saw them sharing memes and stuff like that. And I said, guys, we don't have time for that. Stop. But we do have to have time for that. We have to have time for people to do the things they want to do and feel loved and appreciated and have fun with their friends and so forth, just like they do, normally. Although I have had discussions around, hey, right now, we got to work harder than we've ever worked in our lives. We got to do it. We got to make it happen because, the alternative sucks right now. They do, depending on when you listen to this or see this, 5.5 million people just applied for unemployment, 6.6 the week before. No, sorry. No, I don't accept that. I'm sorry. That's 5.6 and 6.6 million people, more people than I care to see,
And I'm with you. And, and I'm totally with you. And it's like saying the doctor, someone's coming in bleeding and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on break. You're like taking it back to that. Yeah. We're not doctors and nurses or practitioners in that way, but we can give where we can, and I think that, the people that are showing up, they're giving with their talents where they are. The only caveat to all of that is I'm still trying to take enough time for myself, because as you have to, because if you burn yourself, then I got you for these 3 weeks or 4 weeks that you went solid, and then now Jeff has to go lay in bed for a week because we didn't take the little times.
Well, my team is that way. They're calling me right now. Jeff, please rest. Please sit down. Please. They see when I go off the deep end, and I do. I'm not perfect by any means, shape, or form, so I get a little grumpy sometimes. But they're like, because I can't get sick. I can't get hurt. I can't go down. I can't, I got to deliver. I've got to deliver. And so I'm working real hard to make that happen. But yeah, you have to take the time. You have to.
Yeah. Like even just little bits, so just little things. And even to give to you, Max, I care about you as well, is to take little fractions of time. We sometimes feel like, oh, I don't have time to take like a 90-minute lunch today. Okay, fine. You can truncate some of that stuff, but try to find that 5 or 10 minutes and then functional. Cause even I did it, even in the last 3 weeks, I've done it too. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break. And then I'm in front of my computer and then I start answering a message, or I took my phone with me. So then I'm on text, and it really wasn't a 5-minute break. And I only gave myself 5 minutes. So I have to leave the phone and literally just go outside. And even if I just stare at the sun for 5 minutes, and then in those moments, it's kind of like how you and I were talking about having those epiphanies, or like, what are we going to do different? Like sometimes I'll answer. So it's just like going around. I always use the construction analogy. Like if you're on a construction site and you have a battery powered drill and you're like going, and then you're just like, I just have 10 more holes, but the battery's like, it's not doing service to anyone. And you and
you're not going to get the holes filled. You're not going to get them done.
That's
it. I posted something on Facebook the other day. I said, what's your sign? Because every once in a while, when I'm not feeling good or I'm just like, whatever, I look outside and where I live, where you can tell, I live in South Dakota, Native American, every once in a while, I'm not feeling, and just at the right moment, there goes a bald eagle. And that's my sign, and it's like, it's my sign that everything's good, man. Everything's good. And so, I did a little video about that because I think we should always be looking at my daughter, my daughter, Lindsay.
Yeah.
And her big thing is signs. She takes pictures of signs, stuff like that. And I maybe that's interesting. I picked that up from her. So, what's your sign? And, we all should be looking for those little signs throughout the day. Now, her big thing is her grandmother died. And when her grandmother died, my mother, she took care of her. She was a caregiver of my mother when she died, and she had leukemia, and she lived with her and took care of her. And she was, not to say that of the grandkids, there's a favorite, but she was the one that named my mother. Now my mother's name was Henrietta. Okay. but my mother's from down south. And so when Lindsay was born and the other children were born, what do you call her? And my mother always calls the children Darlin. Hi, Darlin. Right. And so guess what they called her? Grandma Darlin.
That's it.
And so when Darwin died, she said, hey, wherever you see a penny, she said, that'll be me. And now Lindsay sees pennies everywhere, right. And they're always heads up. They're always heads up for her. And so that's her sign, right. And then I took on this whole nother meaning of signs. What are the signs that we see every day that we ignore? No different than I wrote in my last book about Bubba. The lottery comes up. The lottery comes up. Yeah. And here it is, $400 million. And he goes to church and he prays, and dear Lord, let me win the lottery. Lord, I want to win the lottery. I'm a devout Christian. I love you, Lord. Just this one thing, let me win the lottery. And so Saturday night comes and goes. No, he doesn't win. So Sunday morning, gets down on his knees, prays again. Let me win the lottery this week. On Wednesday, the thing gets up to 150 million, and then they announce the winner. He doesn't win. So Saturday night, he gets down on his knees and he says, bro, dear Lord, let me win. Let me win. And of course it gets up to $400 million and it goes, doesn't win. And then he goes to church the next day, gets down on his knees, and he prays, dear Lord, what's the deal? I'm a good Christian. I've given you everything. I believe in you. And then all of a sudden God spoke to him and said, Bubba, you got to buy a ticket. You got to buy a ticket. You got to get in the game, man. And so how many of us see these signs every day? How many of us hear this advice that we're giving to you right now? These pieces of nuggets, or that Steve provides to you every single day, in his programs and his work, and occasionally you might get from a person like me or the other guests that come on here. How many signs do you need? How many signs do you need to be? How many times we got to tell this to you, or give it to you, or point to it, or draw it, or paint the picture for you? It's all right there.
It's right there, and I
buy a ticket.
Buy a ticket. That's it. You got to take the first step too. And then, and recapping, not be so stuck on the how, you got to, but you got to take action. If you don't do, if you don't have any movement at all, then obviously nothing happens, right? There's got to be some momentum that occurs, like people even think they're like, oh, you're the freedom guy, so you just sit on the beach. And it's like, no, that's not true. It's I call it structured freedom. I have my freedom. I can go do things when I want to, but because I run my businesses with the structure, so I'm a very active person. In fact, I'm much like you. My team has to tell me to stop, because I just, I can't. That's why I have a turtle on my desk. It's just like, this is like my sign is like slow down because I have to work at that, because I can be the rabbit and keep going. Hey there, I want to give you something really big. It's called Clear Path to Customers. It's the way that we get the right language to get the right client. I like to call them your wow clients, so that you can have more results, more revenue, more raving fans, and more referrals. And I want to give this to you absolutely free. And all you have to do is go to stevenapolitan.com to check it out, or you can look at the description here. We'll put the details there. As always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.